our life meant our life because they were in it. When we examine grief, we need to feel the edges of the grief. We can't examine grief, meaning look at it and understand it, without actually feeling it. The only thing that's needed is to process that and let it move through without our thinking involved. Today, I was in this lemon grove and I had that realization about grief. What I thought was I was afraid, and it turns out it wasn't so much fear as it was actually really deep grief under this tree. Grief is we want that person back, or that animal, or that situation, or that childhood. We want it back, and it's impossible to get it back. We can't see how we are going to exist as ourselves without that, because we were really happy with that. And of course, our life meant our life because they were in it. Now that they're not in it, what does our life mean? It feels like it doesn't have meaning. We don't have meaning. A huge part of us isn't here, right? And then what is the basis of all the other emotions? Wanting something to be that isn't, right? Anger is wanting something to be that isn't. And fear is wanting something to be that isn't. Grief is the sort of archetype of wanting something to be that isn't, right? What is the main thing that we're wanting let's just say as a feeling to have? We're wanting to feel in communion with something. We can feel that something is receiving us and loves us. It also feels good to receive them and love them. And it's what happens as a result of that is so awesome, right? It's like the juice of life, right? It's the fruit of that experience. It is a mutual experience of communion. So this feeling that we're craving, the feeling of communion, would be the opposite of grief, the feeling of union and being in that union with somebody. If grief can be felt and validated and acknowledged that you're missing that person, but you can feel easier in a place of, I have their love that they gave to me, and I will always have this. This is what remains. The love that they gave is what remains. This is the key thing to remember. You're going to always have that love. That means you're not separated from it. In our childhood, we give up on something. We make a pact with some kind of resignation about something about ourselves. And that's why grief, I really believe, is at the root of all the emotions, because in every single experience that was negative in our life as a child, that created a trauma and that created the resultant conclusion and belief that turned into a belief system as it became a self-reinforcing pattern in our life again and again, is grief. At the bottom of all of them is this sadness that love is lost. I mean, if we think about it, even the most abhorrent betrayal or abuse is a love lost. It means I can't trust humanity. It means I can't trust people who I thought were safe. And we immediately come to some kind of conclusion that we are wrong and broken. And then this broken and wrong conclusion acts as a wall or a shield that will keep us from being with a person who can see us any other way. And that's why grief is such a powerful emotion to notice for yourself. And you know what? You could have been carrying this for a really long time.